ClassHorrorCast. We'll make sure you're not bored to death, but all your friends have disappeared, and you're the last one left. If you want to live, I suggest not doing drugs and having sex. Run through the forest grasping for breath, as you're chased by a maniac wearing a mask of flesh, tripping over dead friends. This isn't over until you get revenge. Final girls try to survive in a violent world. It's eye for an eye. Hide behind doors, lying underneath beds, trying to bide your time and find your strength, and figure out how much time it takes to escape before it's too late, or come face to face with a grim fate. Welcome to ClassHorrorCast. Let's see how long you last as you torture to death. So come join your host Aaron and Tomcat as we bring you a podcast that will leave you laughing in a body bag or a bloodbath. Welcome to ClassHorrorCast. Let's see how long you last.
I need to finish that song. That beat is baller.
Yeah, I know, right? Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of ClassHorrorCast. I'm one of your hosts, Aaron, and I'm joined, as always, by my co-host, Tom. How are you doing, Tom?
I'm doing good. I'm excited for this because we're back in it, but the fans don't ever really notice. But I'm always excited, especially stuff that I like legitimately liked as a kid. You know, some of the episodes we do, I'm like, all right, I'll watch this, and then I've never seen it or whatever, and then you guys get my raw thoughts on it because I always stuck into my same kind of bubble of horror movies a lot of times. But yeah, it's I'm now a happy father with a healthy baby, and life is different, definitely. But I'm really happy in that regards. Other regards, the world is crazy, but who cares? Let's enjoy our conversation about horror movies.
You'll be able to show her this movie now shortly. She'll be of age.
Oh, yeah, I know. Of course.
Like a couple of years old, be like, hey, check this out.
I don't know. I've talked about that because, like, my wife's like, we don't need to. She can be older, or like our kids in general, right? But I was like, but there's horror Stevie. She's like, but we don't know horror Stevie because there's an Instagram kid. And he just wears masks, right? So you don't see his identity, which is good. And I'm like thankful on the parents' part. But the thing is, he looks like he's like 7 or something, and he loves horror movies. I'm like, is that good for your brain? Because it kind of messed up my brain a bit.
Yeah, like I always said it didn't mess mine up, but I don't know. Like, I mean, it's weird because I was shit scared as a kid of all that stuff, but then somehow I turned into horror boy. So no, because normally people, when they get traumatized by something, you kind of go the opposite way. That's generally how that works.
Yeah.
For some reason, I don't know why I like leaned into all the like spooky stuff.
I'm not saying that horror movies mess me up, but like the whole being too young and maybe listening to music I shouldn't have or watching movies that I did, it probably did skew my perception to some extent. Like I would sit there and draw pictures of like Jason with bodies all around him and blood, and I'm like, is that good for like a 10-year-old kid or 9-year-old kid to be drawing? I don't know, man. It's up to you to decide.
It's weird, right? Because I feel like at the time, like in the 90s and stuff like that, I don't know if anyone saw that as like a major issue to a degree.
Yeah.
In a sense, it was just a kid being a kid. Like one minute I could be drawing, I don't know, like pictures of like Batman, and then the next minute I'm drawing pictures of Candyman, like stabbing some chick in the head.
Yeah, nobody else does that though. I don't know anyone else that did that.
And like, but I never remember anybody being like, "Oh, we have to bring you to like therapy or anything," or like you have to be locked in a cell. Whereas now, I feel like if you were to hear. Like I would say, if I was like, I have a nearly 11-year-old boy. If I was to tell somebody like, oh yeah, I'm gonna like get him to watch Candyman, I'd probably be in jail.
Yeah. Well, everything is offensive. It's a different time, and everyone's obviously coddling their kids a lot to protect them, I guess, from the outside world, which makes sense. But like movies were just and like you had to rent it. Movies were just movies, man. And like I knew the difference. I knew it wasn't real, but I hated watching. The surgery shows that would come on, those would make me like sick, man, because I'd flip through channels back in the day, kids, before you had all these streaming services. You'd flip through the channel, and then it'd be like this stomach getting cut open and stuff like that. And it would just gross me out. I'm wearing my, I put this in all. It's so funny because I'm gonna make maybe more stuff like this. It's me, Billy, and Aaron as cryptids for Strange Brew Podcast. I'm gonna create more fun stuff like this because I used it for like the background, the YouTube and the Rumble page. It's just funny because it incorporates us And Billy looks hilarious. We all kind of look
Millie is
hilarious.
absolutely terrifying. Yeah, so I guess we'll get straight into it.
Let's do it.
So I had written out a little intro, but like I'm kind of gonna scrap it, but I'll go through it anyway. So in the final year of the 20th century, a movie clawed its way into theaters, one that a lot of people wrote off before it even started. It was a remake. It was dropping at the tail end of a decade, already packed with self-aware slashers. It was loud, it was flashy, and to most critics, it was just another piece of junk. But House on Haunted Hill was much more than a guilty pleasure for many. It was a chaotic, stylish, and brutally fun ride that didn't just relaunch classic stories in a different way. It somehow rewrote the playbook for haunted house movies at the turn of the millennium. Can you remember the first time that you saw House on Haunted
Oh,
Hill?
for sure. And it's so funny. I feel like all I do is tell the same story. I was 100%. I know for a fact I was in Austin's
With
basement.
my buddy.
Yes, I was in Austin's basement. I remember, like, I wonder if his like dad rented it, or I can't remember who, but like probably his dad rented it for us or something like that. But I remember watching it, I'm pretty sure in his basement, and that scene in the beginning came up, and it was like I was like shocked. Like I was like, holy, and I was probably about like when 1999. I probably didn't watch it at 10 years old because that's 10. Maybe 11. Actually, maybe when it first came out on VHS, so maybe like 10 or 11. And we'll get into what my thoughts are. But that beginning scene of the pencils through the neck is the thing that like I was like, whoa. And I remember that like scared me, but made me feel like ill, and like it was just like a weird experience because I liked it but didn't like it. You know, it's like a guilty pleasure horror movies do to your brain, I'm sure.
Yeah, it's a weird one. And I feel like I had this experience with like a lot of movies to a degree where like I remember being I don't even yeah, I guess I would call it scared, like being pretty scared of some of not all like not an entire movie. I always feel like in each movie I pick out like a particular scene or a particular moment where I'm like, I remember that sticking in my head as like that
Yeah,
scared the
yeah.
shit out of me. So like the opening of this movie in the asylum, I was like, what is this? And I
Yeah,
don't know,
yeah,
I
yeah,
always
yeah.
have these really like vivid like nightmares about stuff like that.
Dude, me too. This movie probably did give me a nightmare, I'm pretty sure. The one I can always remember, which I would love to cover, is Sleepy Hollow. I distinctly remember that giving me a horrible nightmare, right? Where I feel like this movie, that I think that pencil neck thing stuck in my head of obviously the mentally insane person grabs a handful of pencils and just reefs them into the dude's neck. And it's like if now that I rewatch it, I'm like, it's practical, it's good, but it doesn't look, it's just okay, right? I don't know if you can even bring up the image, that'd be cool, but you can see that like it's still kind of fake or whatever, but that's stuck in my head, dude. Like I remember like laying in bed probably at Austin's on his floor, because you know back you just sleep on somebody's floor,
Yeah,
you're so uncomfortable, and you're just on some blankets and one pillow, and you're like, wow, man, fucking pencils. You know?
I for some reason I can't find images of the opening scene, which is weird.
Really?
Yeah.
How's on how to hill pencil neck?
Yeah, I can find images, but none of them are like good. I don't know if that's done on purpose.
Weird.
Yeah, they're showing like random parts of it, but like none of the good bits.
It's disappointing because that pencil neck thing is wild.
Yeah, but I do definitely remember like having vivid like nightmares of that scene, and just how freaky that was. And I also remember another scene that stuck out to me a huge amount because I've always been, and maybe it's from coming from this side of the world, you know, I've always been and still am fascinated by theme parks.
Dude, so it's just, can I say something? It's so funny. I feel like I can read your mind sometimes. I think that we share these same minds. I was like, I know exactly what. As soon as you start, there's another scene. I'm like, I know what he's gonna say.
And it's like at the start of the movie as well. It's right after this when we get introduced to what's his character's name again?
Amazing character, dude. Let's see if I can pull
Uh
up the IMDb.
Stephen Price. So that's obviously a nod to, it's played by
Yeah.
Geoffrey Rush. The character Stephen Price being named that is a nod to Vincent Price, obviously, and he kind of quite looks like Vincent Price.
Yeah, and even
He
dude,
has
and
a
when
Waters look about him. Like a
yes,
little.
because when I was watching it, I was like, who's that guy from? I was like, he's in Pirates of the Caribbean. I was like, I was like, man, it's just like some of those things where you're like, who the hell is that? You know what I mean? And then you're like, oh, and he plays that character spot on, but we can talk about that later.
But yeah, like I love that scene where I love the setup for this, to be honest with you, because it has such a feel of like late 90s, early 2000s with the whole like theme park mogul that like creates all these like uh rides and illusions and stuff. So it kind of feels like a perfect setup for like, yes, of course he would be the guy that would want to bring people into a like ex asylum slash haunted house thing and like play a game with them or whatever.
Yeah, he plays that character spot on. Like he does a good job, and kind of like he's like reveling in like scaring people, and kind of that
Mm.
like I like a lot of like, you know, psychopaths out there, a lot of people maybe in our government even, where like they enjoy that idea of being like, I know something that you don't, you know. It's just like, I've set this up, or I have this set up this way, or that, like, I know what's gonna happen, I know what's going on, but you don't. Yeah, yeah, he does that so good. Like that character is like, oh, like, you know, that character could be played in another movie, so to speak. But it's like that everyone kind of knows that character. He's an asshole. He's whatever, a millionaire.
Mhm.
You know, and then but he's also kind of sadistic. But then you kind of like him. Like it's yeah, I actually really enjoy his character. There's some a lot of good things about this movies, and then there's like I will get into some negatives. He looks old now, man. Jesus.
Yeah, I know, right? And that scene, I remember being younger and somehow I got caught with the fake out as well. You know, where they go up in the elevator?
Oh, dude. Yeah, I know. Cause that's what I thought you were gonna get into. Is like that scene 100% tripped me out when I was a kid. And that's something that's extremely memorable. Like
Oh,
extremely.
and like I remembered all being younger, and it was like I felt like this guy was like the coolest person on the planet because like he does the thing right where um the guy from Buffy is the video camera guy, isn't he? There's like the
Yeah,
reporter
yeah.
chick, there's a reporter chick, there's him, and then there's a cameraman, and the cameraman is played by I think it's is it James Marsden, who was in Buffy. He was the like bleach blonde hair guy in
Oh
Buffy.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I actually really I really I can't convince the wife to do it, but I want to watch all of the because it's
Dude.
for I
Yeah,
want to do it. I'm
good
gonna make
idea.
her do it. Yeah, James
Um,
Marsden.
but
Marsters.
I,
Marsters,
I
yeah.
I love when they were going up in the elevator and like that whole thing happens and then it's like, oh, you know, welcome to Terror Incognita or whatever, and
Yeah.
it's that image right there is right after the doors open and he steps out of the elevator and he goes something like, this is just where it all starts, and then the ride just shoots straight past him.
Yeah, it's so good. That's that like scene right there where and it like blows his like outfit
Yeah,
and his hair perfect.
that
Spot
that
on.
ride is the Hulk roller coaster in Islands of Adventure in Orlando.
That's cool. I
Yeah.
wish like you've been around and I love theme parks. I love roller coasters. I've been to Wonderland in so long. I don't have the time or the money to do like because especially in Canada, man. And it would just be full of people that I don't want to be around. And so like, and it's just like I would love to experience this stuff with you. Like I remember when it wasn't as popular, we went to like the house on or the like the Wonderland haunting thing. Have you ever been to Wonderland?
No,
You haven't
but I
even been in
yeah,
Canada, really?
but
Oh, you've been in Niagara
I've
Falls.
I've seen the like
It's a decent theme park. It
yeah, I've
was,
watched people like that go there and like they do like the Halloween events and stuff. So I'm like
yeah,
totally
yeah.
up.
So I've been to those twice, and it was good. But there's so many people that it does
Mm,
not make it enjoyable. And even Billy's like, even if you get the fast pass, you're still
waiting. Yeah. It's
waiting
become like
anyway.
that
It
now.
doesn't matter
Yeah, it's become like that now. I don't know, like it's kind of crazy that things have become so popular now.
because they're also greedy, so they don't put a cap on it, right? To
Yeah,
say
so
this
they
is
could just
this
sell a
many
million
people.
fast passes.
Dude, the first time the haunted thing in Wonderland, it was fun. I guess it was the second time. We were walking through this like it's like supposed to be this like vampire like techno club. It's like and it's like all these like flashing lights and vampire people dancing in cages and stuff like that. And then you're so close to so many people, it's like not scary. But I've been to like little local events where they have like little haunts, and it's way better because it's more like personable. Like we're at a high school, and this like zombie dude chased like was following Chelsea the whole time, and she literally grabbed the guy in front of her. It's like so funny.
Yeah, like I'm a sucker for theme parks, and I'm a sucker for like Halloween attractions.
I got something to do for a crossover for both of our shows. Like the messed up things that happen at theme parks. I'm sure I could find an
Yep.
episode.
I,
I also have Action Park for Billy, where I'm like, we need to talk about this because he doesn't even know about it.
I've watched that documentary way
It's
too
so
many times.
good, dude.
It's one of my like kind of comfort like so I'm a big fan of documentaries as well, and like making ofs and like stories of things like that.
Me too. We share the same brain. Like I'm pretty sure like we're like the same person. I like that Nightmare on Elm Street documentary. I've watched that 4-hour documentary like 3-4 times. But yeah, like I think it'd be interesting for me and you and Billy to cover that because that'd be kind of fun. That's that whole Action Park thing as well. And it's like, and that's what this movie kind of invokes at the beginning.
Yeah.
This idea of thrill rides and going to a theme park, and kind of just like the whole point of it is to get scared and be thrilled by it.
I forgot about that, but remember where it's like it looks to them as if the ride has gone off the track in front of them.
Yeah. I wrote like when the guy tries to avoid the crash, like as the elevator, and he's trying to jump. Remember the trying to jump as the elevator's coming down? I was like, I would probably do the same thing because you're trying to avoid it. Your knees would
like
buckle,
it would make sense, right? You'd be like, yeah, if I leave the ground as it somehow like stop some of the impact.
But the thing is, think about it. If they actually were gonna like be dropped and be crushed by the elevator, I feel like the impact, because of the speed they were at, you would essentially just become an accordion. Like you're gonna go and it's like it would drop down so much that you would be crushed under the weight anyway, right? But like that's such a good, like I'm surprised the theme park hasn't done that, where they're like, oh, you're gonna get elevated up into this roller coaster or whatever, right? And it would spoil it once people knew what it was, but it's still like in Wonderland, they had the drop zone, and I've only done it once. I'm not a fan of heights. We've talked about this. And then it sits there and it waits and it waits, and you never know how long, and then all of a sudden you drop, and it's like that stomach wrenching feeling. Oh, it's like, oh man.
So right beside the Hulk roller coaster in Islands of Adventure, they have excuse me, it's in Marvel Superhero Islands.
Incognito.
Yeah, so that's the name they came up with. Obviously, they weren't going to use the name of Hulk, so they called the roller coaster in the movie Terror Incognita. But right beside that Hulk roller coaster in the actual park, it's like the Marvel Superhero Island, so all the rides are themed to different like Marvel characters. And this was done before Disney owned like the rights to Marvel, so it's some weird like exclusive deal where Universal have the rights to all the comic book characters.
Yeah.
So they can't use like any of the modern day, Avengers and stuff, but they can use like the comic book version of Spider-Man, the comic book version of the X-Men, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, that's weird because they have that in Wonderland too. They had like a Spider-Man one, I think. And they have the big picture, and like, oh man, it just I feel depressed, man. You're making me feel depressed that I have not experienced this stuff in a long time. I used to go to Wonderland all the time when I was a kid, and I just feel like everything's expensive. I can't do it.
It's just when you mentioned that drop zone thing or whatever it is, they have a thing right alongside this ride. Obviously, you can't see it here. I think they might show it in the movie at one point. They pan across like the theme park, and it's called Doctor Doom's Fearfall. So it's obviously based around Doctor Doom from Marvel. But what they do is it's kind of the same. It's a fake out in the other way. So like normally a drop tower brings you to the top and then holds you there and then drops you down. So what Doctor Doom's one is, you're at the bottom and then out of nowhere it shoots you like a rocket up.
Oh, weird.
And then when you get to the top, you can tell that it just like turns off the power, so it just free falls back down.
That's scary. And
you know that it's like, right, whatever. But I remember the first time sitting on that and expecting it to go up slow and like wait at the top and then drop down. And like we come like 4 or 5 feet off the ground, and I'm like, oh yeah, it's like getting ready to like go up. And then we were sitting there for like 15 seconds, and then out of nowhere, dude, I was like, whoa, my stomach and my asshole and everything is on the ground.
Your asshole is literally sucked into your mouth.
I was like, whoa.
Dude, whatever this comes of this world, I don't know. It's the weird things going on out there, but like I would love for one day for me and you to just spend whatever money, like it's not that much, and just get a couple tickets and go. It would be so fun because it's hilarious. My wife knows this because we've gone to Wonderland a bunch as we were kids, and I'm just the type of guy I scream. She doesn't. She's more of like she laughs at me while I'm like, fuck, like literally will say fuck the entire time as loud as I can, and it's just I need to get it out because I'm not like it's funny. I'm not cool with heights, but I've rid roller coasters my whole life, like big ones, roller coasters my whole life or whatever. We need to do this because I think it would just be like me and you would be like two little giddy schoolgirls running around the park, be like, hee hee, like, wouldn't it be nice if we were? And they were just like running through.
How like I would be the same if you asked me to get on the top of my house. Like I'm like, whoa, I feel like I'm about to die. But then I'll like willingly for some reason get on a roller coaster.
Yeah. No, I was thinking if they could, I was just gonna say, if they could figure out the technology before we get off the theme parks, this happens in the show, right? That's what it is. And it was like if you could make it so no one felt that it was going up, would be interesting.
Yeah.
Because if you didn't know, and it's say you like there's even if it's a Marvel thing or whatever it might be, or a horror thing, and then it's all kind of closed off, where it looks like an old school elevator because there's screens around you or whatever, right? And they bring you up, and it's like so smooth that nobody notices you're going up or you can't hear it. I don't know how they do this, but like at some point with technology,
like you would only know when the time was right.
Have like it's soundproof in the inside. You would like not know when it's happening. It would probably scare the shit out of so many people.
You know, I would be surprised if they haven't attempted to like
try to do something like that.
Yeah, or like figure out some way to like, I don't know, like I seen like rides now are doing things where they like blindfold you on the ride and stuff like that.
Weird.
There's a ride in SeaWorld, I think, that it's VR. So you're on a roller coaster, but you also put on a VR like goggles.
Sounds weird, man.
Yeah, I know. It's like, does that not defeat the purpose of being on the ride in the first place?
I didn't you spend so much money. A lot of times tickets are pretty expensive, especially now. It used to be way cheaper when I was a kid. And then you get to like 4 rides and you're like, yay.
This is another thing I love about this movie is the location.
Spot on. Do you remember that? That insane asylum we talked about? It's like I've actually listened back just for like class horror or cult of conspiracy episodes, to send out there or whatever. And it's just so funny how much the show has changed. But I was listening to our episode about Haunted Ontario, and we were talking about an insane asylum. And it's just like it's just the show's evolved and we've grown in our friendship. But even we sounded pretty natural back then. And I'm like, there is insane asylums that maybe not look like this, but are kind of close. Like that one, and I think whatever is Vancouver, it's like massive,
which freaks me out, dude. A massive amount. I don't know what it like, but I'm equally fascinated at the same time.
Can I ask you a question?
Sure.
Do you think we should still have them?
That's
for your show. I'm just kidding.
Because it is in a way, it's an interesting question because I think I've said this on the show before that my uncle is a schizophrenic and like he spent I would have like as a kid, and I think this is fucked up, like, but I would have spent time like visiting him in a mental hospital.
Oh yeah, it was messed
as a kid, like, and I'm there going like, I'm like, who the fuck thought that was a good idea to like bring me to go visit him?
Didn't he go in the basement? He was like in a creepy like basement area or whatever.
Yeah, like there was lots of fucking weird, like, again, see, I don't like. If I look back on that then, and then, you know, you see some of that stuff that came out, was it Geraldo Rivera or something like that?
Oh yeah, that shit is messed up. We talked about in that one episode. That shit is messed up.
Like, how many other places were actually like that? So then you kind of have to go
Cropsey and stuff, man. That footage from Cropsey.
Oh, dude, that gives
Check out Stranger Podcast. That episode's wild, dude. It's disturbing.
There's 10 tenants. That's like 20 minutes from where I live. That's where my uncle was.
That thing is massive.
Yeah, dude. It's fucking scary.
But the thing is, Kate, if you're actually mentally insane, I think it better than jail. You need a facility to try to help and treat them in humane ways, right? And a facility like that, okay, think about this. Look how much money was put into that to make sure that they could at one point try to house the criminally insane, right? Like that thing is massive. Looks like a massive castle, right? Like a jail system, to be fair, but like taxpayer money was
It's
put in. It looks scary
creepy
actually,
as
and the
fuck.
inside,
I would
right?
love nothing more than for, and there's the view from like the road. So when like
It
you're
looks
driving from
wild,
my
dude.
town to the next town over, like this is all you see. Like
That
so at
is
night,
wild.
and at
Look
night
at
they have it lit from the ground up. So like as you kind of come up the road, you see all the trees and shit, and then you just see like the top of the building all lit up, and it's like it reminds me of House on Haunted Hill all the time.
oh
I'm like,
yeah.
this shit is freaky.
That is like, and the thing is, like, I was like, yeah, what am I doing? I'm trying to argue for a mental insane asylum, but like, I'm like, if I think there should be a place that is well funded to help the people that
Mhm.
are insane.
Yeah,
But if
yeah,
you're
yeah.
I'll say one thing: if you're living in a world where most people are insane, then the whole like one quote I love, and I don't know if I coined this because who God knows, but I remember way back in the day on the show, I was like, you're to be sane in a world where it feels like you're in an insane asylum is a weird thing to experience. Okay, something along those lines, where when you're the actual only sane person that sees everything that's going on in the world and why it's happening, and then it feels like you're in this massive mental institution, like it's there's arguments to be made. It's good and bad because should someone who's mentally ill, not saying when it regards to murder or whatever, but that does something that they're not aware of, or maybe they're mentally handicapped and do something really bad, I think they should be housed in a facility that can help them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure, for
I don't
sure.
think that the jail system. There's no reform. It's like locking behind bars. They'll get a criminal, like they'll become criminals within those bars anyway, because there's so much criminality going on within the jails between all sorts of things, right? And then you release them, and then you just go back to the same life. There's no reform in jails. That's obviously a conversation for another time, but it's true. They're not reforming people. They're just like in and out, in and out, in and out. Trust me, I know. I was there.
Something I just realized as well, we never done. So for if you've listened to this point and you're still kind of clueless about what's going on, let me just something we normally do in the first like minute that I didn't do. So I'm just gonna give a quick plot of this.
Yeah, I know we probably should. You know, and
Um,
some of these episodes become the most fun ones, right? Like, because we love these movies, and then it makes you think about other things, right? Where you're like,
let's see, where is it? So when an eccentric millionaire offers a group of opposites $1 million to spend a night in a so-called haunted house
mhm.
with a murderous past, they figure out it's a quick way. They figure it is a quick way to get quick money and leave. All of them are sure it is some made-up story just to mess with their heads a little and test their courage. But once they stay in the house, they start to think about the mistake they made coming here when mysterious things start to happen. And I think that that was written by some random person because I don't think that's the official synopsis of the movie, but uh, we'll go with that one, I guess.
Dude,
Uh,
even though a house is like it's built into the side of a hill,
yeah,
it's just,
scary. You know, that's a miniature.
I'm sure, yeah, that'd be cool too. Yeah,
Yeah.
I figured. I'm like, they must have made it. Like, I don't think, is this a real building? I don't think so.
So it is a real building to a degree.
Okay.
I will pull the real building up now. It is in California, as far as I'm aware.
Hmm. California. That's all I'm gonna say about that.
Um, but yeah, it's not like um, that part of it is not real. I don't think like that section of it. They just added that on and like just
Still
create.
cool. Like, it's a cool thought. Like, it like think I think at some point we should cover the original, but do it as a watch along because it should be public domain by now. Because of how old it is, it should probably is fine.
Okay, so here we
Oh,
go.
weird.
A remake of House on Haunted Hill came near the end of the post-Scream horror revival. It was a pretty decent flick at the time and
Sure.
retained the basics from the original film. Most of the movie was shot on sets, but a few real locations was used, mostly the exterior of the Griffith Observatory in Los Angeles. The building has some major renovations since filming. So yeah, that was like supposed to be. Do you remember like they showed the like news bulletin thing,
Yeah.
burning down and stuff? So that's like the same place or
Well,
whatever.
when all the maniacs lose their mind.
Um, and
No,
then
that's
like
cool.
yeah, like the road that leads up to the observatory.
Yeah, as they all get pulled up in the limb, like not really like they're like the kind of like the cars. It's fine. Are they all
It's
being
okay.
driven in hearse
Uh,
or
are
all of
they?
them?
I
Oh
know
gosh,
one is a hearse and the
okay.
rest weird. Who's in the hearse then?
Is
Or
it
did the hearse
him?
just
Is
lead
it the
them?
billionaire boy or the millionaire? I guess back then, money's changed a lot.
Yeah, they created like the little walkway up to the
Oh, that's
observatory
cool.
into like I love when I see stuff like this, right? Because I'm always fascinated by like how you could see that and go, oh yeah, well, if we shoot that like this, we can make them think that they.
Yeah, and like that's why I love movies and cinema because I feel like if I really wanted to create something, I could do something like this. I always say that, and people are like, "Yeah, you can't." And I don't know. If you gave me enough money, I feel like I could do that. Like, you just got to put your ideas into. Oh, that's cool. Some of the like
Mm,
interesting. You just gotta get the right angle, and then you like essentially it looks like they edited the top. So you like
yeah,
film a location, and then all you have to do is,
add a piece.
especially now, man, with CGI, it's like it's so different. But like back then, it would have been a little more complex. Oh, that's cool. Know who also I love that's in this movie?
Ooh.
Chris Kattan. Now that
Oh,
guy's a weirdo and can't talk.
I know. I had been trying to get in touch with him for a while.
I like Chris Kattan. I've always liked
Yeah.
his like weird stuff that he's done, and
Do
like
you know what as well, right? So he notoriously doesn't like horror movies and is like really uncomfortable about horror. And
interesting.
if you notice, like I know this movie isn't straight horror, there's kind of a goofiness to it as well. But supposedly, like he found it kind of impossible to play like a straight role because I think originally the idea was for his character to be a little bit more straight. And then I
Yeah.
think upon like filming, they were like, "Oh, we're gonna have to lean into him kind of being like the comedic
Quirky.
relief, like kind of weirdo, like
Yeah.
eccentric guy."
He is a quirky guy. Like I'm looking. Oh, I forgot he was in Santa Slay. Weird. Which I really want to recover, and we did. We should just put that on Patreon. We'll redo it. Like Monkey Bone. I always liked him he's an interesting character. It's kind of a weirdo, but I think I always watch stuff that he was in. Corky Romano, Undercover Brother, like some Monkey Bone, like some of those movies he's been in, and like Night of the Roxbury. It was just very like he's a familiar face, right? You end up watching stuff that he is in, but he kind of became eccentric when he got older a little bit, like disconnected from Hollywood.
Some of the taglines for this as well are weird.
I was waiting for it because you're thinking.
Yeah. Are you dying to be rich? Question mark. That's not bad. Like
It's not terrible, actually. I've heard way worse.
yeah. Next one is not great. It's going to be a long night.
No, terrible. Like horrible.
This one, does this make sense to you? If you're in, you may not want to get out.
No, doesn't make sense because they want to get out.
Yeah, I would want to get
It's
out.
it means like it's talking about poker terms. Like if you're in to make money, so to speak, right? But it should be if you're in, you're gonna always want to get out or something like that. Like because you don't want to stay there.
Evil loves to party. I feel like that fits with like the style of the movie at the time.
Yeah.
Something dumb like that. But
Evil loves to party. Cue Rob Zombie music.
Yeah, the one that ended up being on like the cover, which I thought was a kind of a strange one because normally they try and keep the taglines quite like, something like, "Are you dying to be rich?" or whatever. But the one they decided to go with on like the cover on the poster was, "6 strangers have a chance to make $1 million each. All they have to do is make it through the night alive."
It's not terrible.
No, it's not terrible, but it's quite a long tagline to put on like a DVD cover. Because if you look on like any of the artwork, that's like the whole top corner of like the box.
Yeah, it's a little excessive. But you think about like Texas Chainsaw Massacre or something like that, like what will be left of them or whatever. Like it was that one was pretty long.
Yeah,
that's a great. The Texas Chainsaw Massacre one is actually great. Like something about what will be left of them. Like they summer away or whatever. What will be left of them? Something like that. I can't remember.
I know exactly. Yeah, it's like on the tip of my tongue, but I don't remember it either.
Yeah.
I don't know if I believe this that Geoffrey Rush was never supposed to kind of look like Vincent Price.
But why did they name him that then?
Yeah, they named him Stephen Price. Like they said, like now I do get that he was supposed to look like John Waters more so, but like how they didn't look at him and go, you kind of look like a weird like crossbreed between John Waters and Vincent Price. I thought that's what they were leaning into because obviously Vincent Price was
Yeah,
the
me too.
star of the original. So I thought the whole point was, it was like kind of leaning into that thing.
And they weren't. They're like not meaning to do that. They're like it's
Supposedly not. It just so happened that he ended up looking like him.
give him
I
a pencil thin mustache. Yeah, I feel like either grow it or don't, man. I hate the pencil thin. Like
I
when you're
know,
trying to
yeah,
look
it's
like
a bit.
Groucho Marx or not Groucho Marx, the other guy. Who's that? Is that guy? He's an old school. Oh, I can't think of it right now. Pencil thin mustache man.
I have no idea who you're talking about.
We'll figure it out. I love Sweet Dreams. I wrote that down.
Oh,
Sweet
so
dreams are made of
there was a
these.
rumor out there that Marilyn Manson was considered for the role of Dr. Vanicus.
Who's Dr. Vanicut?
So do you know like the doctor guy in it that shows up?
Oh yeah, yeah.
But so supposedly that like he was played by Jeffrey Combs, but supposedly like one of the original considerations was Marilyn Manson. But if anybody's interested, I did have I would say co-writer and director of this movie, William Malone, on the show a couple of years back. And like we talked in depth about this movie because I love this movie so much, so I couldn't help it. And he
That's
was like,
cool.
"Yeah, that was never a consideration. It was the fact that we wanted to use his tracks for the movie, and then one thing led to another. Chinese whispers, and then it's like, oh yeah, they're wanting him in like a lead role. He was like, that was never.
What is Chinese whispers? That sounds
You
kind
ever
of
hear that?
no.
So that's like
We're going to take over the world.
no, it was like I think it originally started off over here as like a game. So like you would whisper something in my ear, right?
Telephone game. That's what we
Yeah,
call it over here.
we talked about this before. I am
Oh,
having
we
like
did.
deja vu about we talking about
Yeah,
this.
yeah, we did.
But it's that thing of like basically what he was saying was like, you know, there was his name came up because we were considering his music for certain parts of the movie because the studio wanted
I
to tie
love
it
how
in
they did
pop
the
culture.
Sweet Dreams. Yeah.
Yeah, and it was very well done. And he was like, and then obviously somehow that turned into like, oh, they're gonna cast him in like a lead role. But he was like, "Man,
Bring it up. I was thinking of Salvadori Dali or whatever the hell this guy's name is. I brought my screen up just so everyone can see his
sorry."
mustache. This weird guy. See, that's what I was thinking of, right? I was like, people with thin mustaches. I feel like that's the most famous.
Yikes.
For some reason, there's a whole article about 15 inspiring pencil mustaches.
Yeah, no, not for me.
Yeah, I'm not down with the pencil mustache. It's funny because as I'm going through my notes, I did write down. I actually love Chris Kattan. He looks bad now. I actually love his character in this movie.
Yeah, it looks awful now. But yeah, like I said, all those comical moments he kind of does, they were all improvised.
Dude, it's great. His character fits him perfectly. Even that there's that one scene or some shit where he's like, all right, and he like runs away or whatever. Like there's some like funny moments that he did in the movie, and his character like just, I feel like it kind of needed someone like him. Of like he's skeptical and he's aware of kind of what's going on, but not right.
Like it fits well because you would probably have a character like that. Like some people behave like that. And I can't say that, I wouldn't. We all like to think, and we've talked about this at length before. We would all like to think that we're going to be like the badass hero and we're going to be like Ash and we're going to put a chainsaw on our hand and we're going to like go around killing everything. But like we may actually end up being like the little pipsqueak, like wisecracking guy who tries to get out and just leave everybody.
He is technically a pipsqueak. Yeah, what's that one? Like, is that one? Yeah, he tries to leave everybody, but he's aware of it because isn't he like the lawyer or some shit? He's like someone that's friends with.
He's I can't remember exactly.
The executor, or like I don't know, just something like along those lines where he's aware of what's going on, right? Like that's the whole idea. I'm bringing up the IDMB, but like that the idea is like he's aware of what's going on, right? Like he knows.
Yeah, because he's like renting the house to them or whatever.
Oh, maybe he's like a realtor.
Watson Pritchett is his name. He's the
Yeah.
caretaker and owner's representative for the
Oh, yeah, that's what I
abandoned
thought. Yeah.
former insane asylum. His character is nervous, jittery, and sarcastic, who strongly believes in the building's dark history. His family once owned the property and he inherited responsibility for it, but he clearly wants nothing to do with it due to its reputation. Throughout the film, he serves as both comic relief and voice of paranoia and fear, warning others about the dangerous supernatural forces.
Did you use ChatGPT for that?
I did.
That shit's great for stuff like that. Where you're like, what is this? And
Yeah.
it'll just break it
Even
down in a
if-
cohesive way. Honestly, it will do. It's very good at doing that. Where I feel like I just need something explained to me, or especially about movies and stuff. It'd be actually great to utilize for the show. Nobody'd steal our secret. Everything.
This is kind of cool. So Warner Brothers and Dark Castle. Obviously people will probably be familiar with William Castle and like the original movies that came out. He always had a gimmick with them. So like there was always something that he would do to like promote his movies. So like with 13 Ghosts, for example, when he released the original 13 Ghosts, it had this like I can't remember what they called it. It was like something O Vision or something. Like Spectre O Vision or something like that. And you would get like essentially this form of 3D glasses. And when you watch 13 Ghosts, if you look at the screen without the glasses, you can't see anything. But if you put the glasses on, you could see the ghosts on the screen.
That's sweet.
Right. And like he done like with every movie he released, he done a different thing like that. And
that's so cool. I would have liked that.
Their original plan when Dark Castle wanted to like remake all of his like catalog, the original idea from the get-go was to do that, but in modern day. So they thought like, well, we can make way more elaborate gimmicks and way more elaborate like.
So you're saying like the 13 Ghosts? I've never seen it. The one that was from back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
They did the glasses thing.
Yes.
What? That's really cool, especially for back then. That's sick. I've never seen it. Is it worth watching? I loved Carnival of Souls just for like how old, like it's nostalgic it was.
Oh, that's what it was called. Illusional was the name of it.
That's so cool.
So it was so here's how it worked. Audiences were given special viewers, basically cardboard glasses with two colored filters. A red filter, if you were brave enough to look through the red lens, you would see ghosts. If you were scared and weren't brave enough, you would look through the blue lenses and this would block out the ghosts. Throughout the movie, when the ghosts appeared, the screen would tint or flash with a special effect. Viewers controlled whether they saw the ghosts or not by choosing which color lens to look through. The ghosts were often faint, semi-transparent images, only visible with the red filter.
That's so cool. We should talk about stuff like that. Like,
yeah, dude,
like
right? So I'm going to say this now, and I don't think I've said it anywhere because I was trying to like gatekeep the idea, but I do want to release it by the end of this year. So for the last couple of years, I've been working on a book all about Dark Castle. And
that's cool.
I've went and like got interviews with like the production designers, the art directors, the writers, the directors, the cast, all these different people for all the remakes of all the Dark Castle stuff. So like House on Haunted Hill, 13 Ghosts, House of Wax, Gothica, whatever, anyway, all those movies. And like I went like deep into all this William Castle stuff. Like there's another one, that movie he had called The Tingler. He done like, it came out in 1959, I think it was. And he made sure that every theater that was shown in, they installed vibrations into the seats. So when certain scenes came on, the seats would vibrate and people had no idea. You imagine it was like in the 50s.
Yeah.
You go to see a movie and that shit starts vibrating.
Martha keeps going to the movies every week. I don't know why she's there. We know why she's there.
House on Haunted Hill, the one for that was there was certain scenes and these skeleton props would fly over the theater.
That's so sick, man. Why can't we do this anymore, man?
I know.
Why is everything so gay?
You know what that reminds you of? It reminds me of Scream 2, that opening scene. I wish I could have
yeah. Like that. Well, I saw clips from that It was terrible. I actually watched it. that Minecraft movie. It was
Oh,
not that great. It
no,
was
no.
absurdly dumb. But I saw that people like kids were dressing up and then saying stuff while like Rocky Horror Picture Show type
Yeah,
vibe
yeah,
where people
yeah,
would
yeah.
scream things. And I was like, that's cool. Like we need to bring some of that stuff back. Everyone's so like disconnected from each other and just human beings because of the internet in a lot of regard that
I
we don't
went
like
to
do
go
as
see,
fun things like we used to.
I went to go see Jurassic World Rebirth last night,
Yeah.
and pretty packed because it was like the opening night, obviously. And there's just a row of people. Now they're a good bit in front of me, so it didn't bother me as much. But there's
Mhm.
probably like 5, 6 people in the group, like girls and guys, and they just like were talking, like as we're talking right now, just openly having conversation. They were recording the screen with their flash on. They're just like on Snapchat. They're like making phone
Jesus.
calls, and I'm just sitting there going, "Wow, this is like the world I live in now. This is
Mhm.
bizarre."
Not gonna
Um,
lie, I would say something. I don't care.
I was going to. I was like, "Will I be that guy and do it?" But yeah. Anyway, I got way off topic. But so to try
And
and
I was gonna ask you, is 13 Ghosts the original worth watching?
yeah, I mean, it's okay. I
Yeah.
see. I have this weird thing, right? And people always give me shit for it, where I have a very hard time, like, because my reference point for these movies is the remakes. So, like, it's
Yeah.
hard for me to go back then and be like, "Ooh, I really love the original," because I don't.
Yeah, maybe I shouldn't have, we'll bring it up when we talk about that movie, but I was like, I've never seen it, so maybe I'll have to like peruse it maybe.
But yeah, so Warner Brothers and Dark Castle to like, I don't know, try and tie in like marketing gimmicks or whatever. They promoted this film by providing movie theaters with scratch off tickets that would be given to anyone who bought a ticket for the movie. The scratch off ticket would give each guest a chance to win prize money, just like the characters in the movie. The cash prizes totaled $1 million, and this included rentals from Blockbuster Video. Warner had intended to include featuring such gimmicks for all further William Castle remakes, such as 13 Ghosts,
So
which
cool.
was supposed to be originally released in 3D to continue the trend. But the plans were abandoned due to a lukewarm audience experience.
Of course they would do that, right? And it's like, oh yeah, no wonder. It's so annoying when they like, oh, that we could have done this and it probably would have been so fun, but we're not going to because
Yeah,
money.
yeah, I do feel as well though, right? What really annoys me, and this happens, and I think it's human nature probably, where you know when like we don't have something as a group of people, whatever it is, and let's just I'm trying to keep this specifically
Mhm.
to not go into anything else.
Yeah.
But keep it specifically to movies, say, right? So it's like we give out if we don't have like everybody's talking about, oh, you know, we haven't seen anything from Friday the 13th franchise in fucking years now. They need to resolve the copyright thing and the
I do
legal
agree with
issues to
that.
just get
Yeah.
on with it, right? So like a lot of people say that, right? And I'm included in that. But then what I find is right, instantly then everything gets ironed out and they say, oh, Crystal Lake TV show. And instantly, right, everyone's like garbage. Then they're like, oh, there's going to be a new movie coming out. Everyone's like, oh, garbage. And it's like, well, it's that thing though, isn't it? It's like audiences say, oh, we want this. And then they don't come out and support the projects. And then we don't get them ever again. And then
Yeah,
people go,
well,
oh,
was Crystal like Lake that bad? I never watched it.
no, I haven't, it hasn't come out yet.
So people are saying it's garbage because why?
I don't know, because A24 are doing it.
A24 is awesome. Rather
I know.
Blumhouse, man.
See,
Why would you want
you know what,
fucking
right?
Blumhouse to touch that shit?
I have to actually applaud Jason Blum. He went on a podcast. He specifically contacted, and I'd have to get the name of the podcast. It's a quite like a, it has a decent following, like within like the movie
Mhm.
world or whatever. And he contacted this podcast after Megan 2 came out. And the guy talks about it on the start of the show. He's like, yeah, so normally like when a producer has a flop, you don't hear from them ever again. They don't want to
Mhm.
go on shows. They don't want to talk about it. Normally, producers will only go on shows or podcasts or do interviews once they've had like a big hit. So they can
Yes.
kind of go on and say, like, you know, we done well, we done great, we done this, we done that. But he comes on the show and he's like, I'll be honest. He was like, yeah, we've been in a slump for many years now. And we have to sit down now as a business and we have to change our business model. We've taken on too many
Good for
projects.
him. Stop
Yeah,
doing.
and like I have to say,
destroying my
right,
childhood.
as much as I want to just absolutely annihilate them, it was I'll actually send it to you. It's only like a 20-minute, 30-minute interview, but like he talks about it like I've never heard anybody at that level talk about it, where he's like,
Yeah.
it's my fault. It's my company's fault. We took on every project we could get our hands on. We basically made 90% garbage. We ruined franchises. We ruined Exorcist. We fucked up the Michael Myers thing. We fucked up the this. He's like, and you know, we still thought going into say Megan 2, we could completely change genre, make it goofy, make it comedic,
That's
and
why I
then
heard there's like action and stuff. Like
yeah, it's
what?
very like it kind of feels like an action like spy movie. And he was like, we thought like it was going to be like this great, like amazing thing. And then he said the week it was due to come out, you know, the way they can get like projections of like what the box office is going to do.
Yeah,
And he was
because
like,
they rate audiences and
yeah,
stuff
and he was
too.
like, at first it started off, it was like 50 million for opening weekend. And then it was 45 million. And then it was 30 million. And then it was 25 million. And then it was 20 million. And he was like, and then I get a call on like the Friday and it's like, we'll be lucky if we make 19 million total.
Let me say this because we have to get back to House on a Hill, but like, I respect that the idea of like you need to admit your faults, right? Like I'm pretty honest on our shows of them. I've made mistakes in my life. I've been an asshole. I've been a bad person somewhere. If you acknowledge, that's more respectful than you being like, no, it's fine. Like people, like especially producers, people who make movies or make anything. If you no longer have your heart in it and you're just doing it for money because you want to make that precious guap that you'll never take with you. I hate that word, but money, the cash, the cashola, the greenbacks, you're trying to all your existence for that. And then you don't take it with you when you die. Why not put your heart and soul into making things that people care about and that matter? Even like things like Friday the 13th, people care about that franchise. People care about the Halloween franchise. When you try to distort it and make it something different to fit a narrative or a cultural Marxist fit into what it needs to be, you're destroying it.
And I think that's the first step to improving is to be
Yeah,
able to
admit
say,
it.
yeah, you know what? I think we might have actually fucked this up and we've had a lot of flops and a lot of slumps right now. So we need
Yeah.
to actually sit down and figure out like what got us. Because and like to be fair, he is right. He was like, we had a 15-year run where like we couldn't miss. And he was like, I'll be honest, having a 15-year run with a handful of flops and everything else was like gold. He was like, at a certain point, you kind of feel like, well, the machine is already well oiled enough that all we have to do is just keep inputting.
That's a
You know what I mean?
stupid. Yo, imagine if I did that with the music. I was like, I'll just like, keep repeating the same process of not, you know what I mean? Of like doing the same
Like,
thing
I can
over.
see,
Like,
I suppose, like from a company standpoint with so many people, how maybe it just becomes like this thing where it's like, all right, okay, so we've got our hands on Halloween. So we're just going to do the same thing we done with Paranormal Activity with Halloween. And then that worked. And then, okay, then we've got Saw. We'll just do the same thing with that.
I love the first Halloween. I'll admit that I loved it. I thought
Yeah.
it was great. I was excited for it, and then it went
And
bad
I'll be
and
honest,
worse.
right,
And I was gonna say, I was like, I know you've never seen Halloween Ends, so we need to cover that. And I've never seen The Exorcist, so I had a standpoint view of maybe doing this stuff for Rumble to critique this stuff and then put it on Patreon. I feel like we need to because it's like
I enjoy aspects of Halloween Kills. But overall, I didn't enjoy the movie. But there's
yeah,
like
there was
some
like portions of it that I'm like, I like
throwback
that
scene,
part. Yeah,
like where it goes back to 1970, whatever.
yeah.
I
There was
enjoyed that.
parts I was like, I'm trying to
Yeah.
like get.
How did we get
It's
onto it?
Michael Myers.
I don't know how we got onto that. It was completely
Just I know it's just what happens on the show, but I think people enjoy that we're not just like I think it like why just be boring and be like let's like break down every single fact or whatever, right? But this is what the world of horror does, right? You have to critique things and analyze things and be like, why do I love this? Why, if you distort this, does it make me upset about it or make fans not want to watch it, right? Why we love it is for a reason. I actually wrote down like you think when they start getting in the house, right? And they all these paranormal things. That's what's interesting about this movie. It would make you question your reality because you think that you're there for money, and this is like, hey, if you experience this haunted house, this is a totally new thing. And I think the idea would be, weren't they going to film it? Is that the whole idea? Because I don't understand, like, or is it just hit for his own sick pleasure? Because if it's his own sick pleasure, that's a weird thing to be
I think
like, this is for his sick pleasure because he's a weird fuck. I
Yeah,
got money to
wasn't
burn. Get in
wasn't
the
it
haunted house.
no, wasn't it some like birthday party thing that he was trying to pull off
Yeah. Ask
for
ChatGPT.
her?
It's so. Ask the stupid
Yeah, but
AI
then it
thing.
turned out, remember that you see in the movie, remember he types in the guest list for her birthday and then he gets
Oh
up and
yeah,
walks away from the computer and then you see the stuff being deleted,
yeah.
names
So
and the
nobody
names get
else
changed. So,
comes.
yeah, so then when they show up, they're not any of the people that he was inviting. That's why he's like, who the fuck is
Oh
who are you?
yeah. Oh yeah, because it's the ghost doing it. But why are they inviting all these people? It's an interesting. I don't like the movie's good, but on a whole, I was like, what? I'm trying to figure out like what's going on because realistically, right? Like you're going into this, you're going to make money. And it's funny how he just goes along with it. He doesn't question it. We have all these random people here that are like going to make this money that he promised to a bunch of his guests for some sort of birthday party, right? And then it's totally different people that he doesn't know. You know what I mean? And then you're like you wouldn't question it. You wouldn't be like, is this like not what we're doing?
Yeah, so he's throwing a party at the asylum is what it is. And um yeah, that's a good point though.
Yeah, because it's like, why wouldn't you be
Yeah,
like,
what
this is
what's he trying
weird?
to film it though? Because remember he was doing all the weird pranks. Remember he had the guy
Yeah.
in the like control room. He was like, "Yeah, do the fucking thing, the
Yeah.
gag."
That's why I was
Um,
laughing about, like, because at some point while you're going through this house and some of the jump scares and like, when you see like the weird doctor, which is always hilarious. He's like,
yeah, that dude. I mean, I'll be honest.
I know it.
That is
That is one of the. That is also a
freaky.
memory that always stuck in my head because he is filming it because there's cameras all around. Remember, he looks at the camera and he's like,
Oh, dude, it's freaky.
so technically he is trying to film this in some regard for whatever it wouldn't be content as
Because
you would
he's
call it.
messing with his wife, isn't it? The whole thing is like he's trying to like
Yeah.
mess with her.
But while you're in that experience, if you think you have to survive this for money, you would, you know what I mean? You would think that like, oh, like this is just him like fucking with you. You know what I mean?
Which I think is a cool concept. I'll
Yeah.
be honest. Um, yeah, because like they're having like a thing, aren't they? Like the two of them don't really get on, remember? Because
Yes.
he has the guns and stuff there. Remember they in the coffin?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
They each
He's
get a
trying to
gun.
set something up to like
Yeah, because
frame.
yeah, so it's supposed to be like so he organizes the haunted asylum party as a twisted birthday present for his wife Evelyn. He wants to scare her and the guests with fake hauntings and death traps similar to his horror themed amusement park style.
Isn't to frame it as a murder because like he. And oh man, it doesn't matter. We're already so far into it. Like I even like that the shock scene of the wife is pretty fucked up.
Yeah.
Like she's like, and like he's watching it, and he thinks that it's like, doesn't he think it's real or something because he didn't set it up? Or I can't. Oh, man, I'm losing.
Yeah,
I can't
so
remember.
so he suspects that she wants him dead.
Yeah.
And the party is a way for him to like gain control over again. So he's trying to manipulate her basically.
That's what I said, and gain control over because he's like a kind of like a psychopath, and then maybe have witnesses, right? To some
And
extent.
then he thinks he's like controlling the whole thing with all the scares and the crew and whatever. And then when it starts to turn, but doesn't, what's that other character's name? The doctor guy.
Oh yeah, that yeah.
They're in cahoots together, aren't they? To kill
Yes.
him and get all the money.
Yes,
That's the Blackburn.
because he's like, you think it's that she like, I totally
They
forgot about this.
kissed. Remember, because I remember looking at that and going,
Yeah.
"Oh my god!"
Because that's a good shock. That is a good shock where they're like, you're like, oh, what? And you realize that, like, even when I rewatched it, and I've seen this movie a bunch of times when I was younger.
That's when you realize that she had double crossed him. The ghost didn't
Yeah.
change the names in his computer. It was Evelyn that changed the names in the computer because she invited him on purpose.
Yes.
So I'm only starting to piece this all together now because I was like, oh yeah, the ghost changed the guest list, but they don't. It's her.
It's funny because I I literally wrote down, I forgot about the twist with the wife. Because even I've watched this at least, I don't know, like I don't know, 4 or 5 times as a teenager. Like I definitely rewatched it because I enjoyed it. But
Yeah.
when I watched it and I watched it like over a month ago probably because we didn't know when we were gonna do this. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna start banging out watching some of this stuff for the show. And I remember being like, whoa, and I'll get to what I think about the end because well, like I remember like it was a good twist. I was like, ooh, it's a twist. Like M. Night Shyamalan. It
Do you want
played
to
with
see
your mind.
something really cool and an exclusive here? So for the audio listeners, if you do want to check this out, this little section for the next, it'll only be, we'll just run through it super quick, like 60 seconds and talk about this. But if you want to see what we're talking about, you're going to have to go over to either Rumble or YouTube or somewhere to actually see
Yeah,
the
support
visuals.
Rumble.
I may post these. No, actually, I don't know. Should I even show these? So I was sent these by the lead sculptor for the movie. I don't know if these pictures have ever been released, and the whole point was for me to put them in the book. So it'd be like the first time. So, but then at the same time, I'm like, oh, is it really going to matter that much? Like,
Probably not.
probably not. So these were, I don't think these have ever been seen before. These were taken by the lead sculptor, a lady by the name of Michelle Millet. So she sent me these probably
Those
well
are
over a year ago now.
wild looking.
And she worked on those weird filleted bodies and the horse dude thing and all.
Which is a real thing, man. The Chinese did this, dude. There was, I'm not kidding. There is a museum in, I think it was somewhere in Toronto, and they used real people in a museum like this, where they would show you the articulate movements of the bone muscle and stuff like that, and they used actual Chinese dissidents of the government and put them in a museum. Look it up; it's real. Is that wild?
She did tell me that they were it was based on something specific. Bear with me for 1 second. Here we go. So it is based on, and now bear in mind, right? This would have been before the time of any like was it Body Worlds or whatever it's called, where you can go and see like the bodies and stuff.
Dude, that's why I just brought up real bodies. The exhibition controversy about the disturbing origins of corpses, an exhibit featuring dead bodies in Sydney. No, I don't know why I thought it was Toronto.
This is what it was based off of. This guy's work.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, so there's like, just so I can finish that. There is literally an exhibit in Australia once belonged to the Chinese political prisoners who were tortured and murdered. Isn't that fucking crazy?
It's kind of scary, to be honest.
Dude, wild, dude. Here, I should bring this up on my show. That's pretty cool. You have to see this just because I don't know if you knew this. It made me think of it. So how can I add? Which one is which?
Yeah, because I don't want to spend too much time on this because obviously
no.
the audio listeners will end up just like tuning out.
Yeah. Okay, never mind. I'll show these to this fucking someone. Pretty wild though. There was an exhibit, and they used real Chinese political prisoners to have the bodies. Yeah.
But I spoke to her like in depth about all this, and she said like they had such a fun time like researching.
It looks wild.
They've done a lot of research into like having the things like anatomically correct and like to scale and stuff like that. Yeah, she was like, it was quite. And I remember, do you remember the scenes where they walk through that room and they're on like in the glass cases and stuff?
Yes.
Quite unsettling, to be fair.
I agree. Like this is mad creepy though. Like look at. Imagine having that in your house and you're like, yeah, your buddy walks in like somebody like
weird, all right.
Yeah, you'd be like, this guy's crazy. Is this Jeffrey Dahmer's apartment? Like, if you were like, but you're like, I could picture someone's like a very like eccentric artist come into my home. Check it out.
Someone like Clive Barker or something.
Yeah, oh yeah, Clive Barker would 100% have this in his house. No doubt, dude. He'd be like, yo, check this out. Isn't this cool? I got it off eBay.
Pretty freakish though.
It is cool. And I'm
I
sure
don't know how well these will do
that
on
one
YouTube.
is so creepy, man. Especially because I have a baby. It looks weird, dude.
Oh God.
That's so weird. It's cool though. It looks oh, that shit is disturbing. Like pygmy
Yep.
people.
Yep.
Dude,
That's not good.
that is so bizarre
I think
looking.
they're the finished product.
Oh man. Yo, imagine you like walk into somebody's house and like, yeah, like see what I purchased from like this like art museum, and they're like,
And that
what
thing
is
is lit
that?
from, like the ground up, or like the light is shining up
Oh,
in the face.
just his face. I'm like,
Dude,
looks like a meme.
scary.
So crazy. Wow, that's messed up.
So yeah, if anyone was interested in that, that was
I didn't know you're writing a book.
yeah, I've been kind of like, well, I am and I'm not.
I'm writing a book too. It's called My Struggle.
I could write one of those.
it's a Hitler joke. So like also I have to say a scene that we talked about before we even touched upon this movie was the scene where he's in the deprivation tank.
Oh, the saturation chamber.
That as it's like going and he's seeing the guy with the ball like laughing at him. Oh man, I hate that scene. It freaked me out.
It's a well put together movie, in fairness. Like
all of it until the end. The end, I think, is like CGI is garbage. It's so bad. Dude, I said she did not need to unload that clip on him. That's fine because she's like, when you shoot a gun, you shouldn't like you. I don't know why people are like in movies because you wouldn't like maybe if you were very scared, but you shouldn't do that. You should eliminate threat, step back. Like it is weird for people like.
Remember the scene where he turns weird?
Yeah, and he like jumps in the pool.
Pretty freaky as well, actually.
Yeah, a lot of all of this entire movie is good until I realized how garbage the end is with the CGI and that like weird ghost taking over the house. I said, the wife death is shit. The CGI is like terrible.
There's
there. That's
like
so
weird, scary looking.
That's cool. Oh yeah. He's like, this is a beautiful plan, you know. Like for all the people that we're just looking at the images, but the doctor guy that's like in cahoots, and go back, checkered floorboard Freemasons right there. A lot of movies, and eventually I would love to do this on straight. I think it would incorporate in your show. But analyzing the symbolism within movies, there's a lot of it. Hollywood does this all the time where they show you certain things that you're not allowed to see or whatever. It's subverting your mind. But that checkered floorboard
guy now that I think will absolutely love, and hopefully when we're finished recording this, you'll look at maybe a little quick video tonight of his on YouTube and see what you think. It's a guy called Rob Ager. He's an English guy. He has a thing called collative learning, I think it is, and he dives deep. And when I say deep, into symbolism in movies, hidden like weird shit in movies, I'm talking about. So he does like his YouTube channel, which is like 15, 20 minutes long. Some videos, maybe some videos 40 minutes, and then he does. If you get really into it, you can go onto his website, and he has like 2.5 hour, like eyes wide shut, deep dive into all the cults.
I love that stuff.
And all the stuff. And like the dude, now I have to say, man, he must spend so much time and so much research into like he talks about, like he does 2 different videos. One is all the evidence that points towards Kubrick being killed because of Eyes Wide Shut. And then he does
he exposed them.
And then he does another video arguing all the apparent evidence, saying that that wasn't the case. And he does a lot of stuff like that. Like, so you kind of get both sides, and then you can kind of make up your own mind.
Interesting, because I never thought about that. But yeah, he supposedly filmed the moon landing. Yep. That'll be a thing for our show. Like, look at The Shining if you pay attention to it. But I feel like they add things in. Like the checkered floorboard is a Freemason thing. It means life and death. It's the duality between the two worlds and the stepping stones of life and stuff like that. All of this is I love this whole movie, and it's well put together, and there's so many iconic scenes. But like I will say, so we don't have to talk about the end too much. The end is shit. The CGI is garbage. The ghost chasing him through the house and killing everything is garbage. When they're on the edge of
there's so many cool visuals
yes.
up until that point. Like the camera work, the weird thing with the doctor, some of those
Yeah.
weird faces you see popping up in flashes and like glitches across the screen and like flicker and stuff. It's like really scary. And
And
then
at the at the end where it's like, we're all in one thing and a ghost that have all died here. Like, oh my god, so bad.
it's just like, I don't know, it's so weird. It feels like it doesn't fit in there though. I'm like, this doesn't feel like it's part of this movie.
No, it doesn't. And when I watched the end, I was like, wow. Why? Why did
Because
you end it like
everything else
this?
is actually pretty scary and kind of holds up even today. Like even things like the saturation chamber and all is still
Yeah.
scary.
The saturate. Yeah, I when isn't he playing like a ball? It's like a. He's thinking
Yeah,
about like if you think about a guy that like I'll always have never understand this, right? Why they had when they first invented bicycles, why they had the big wheel and then the small wheel. You think that it would just make sense to just make the two wheels the same size, right? But for some reason, can you bring this up? I don't know if you were able to, but for some reason, back in the day, I can't remember what the bike's called. My Chelsea's, my wife's dad actually has one, like a replica looking one. I think it is. I think he could ride it. Like he said, I think it is real, and it's like the big wheel on the bike and then the little wheel. I'm like, it just doesn't make sense. I think isn't he riding on a bike or am I wrong? And then he's like laughing at him.
I know that this.
Oh, it is the ball. That's a real thing.
You can actually buy that.
Really?
You can
Okay,
actually
so
buy
I'm mixing up. There
$100.
isn't the same type of thing, like where it spins or whatever, but it's a guy riding a bike.
Yeah, so that's actually it's a thing that was used for schizophrenics.
That's
Like
so scary.
that's not something they just made up. That was actually a thing that they used for schizophrenics. They thought it could, like, I don't know, like
Why?
alter their mind or whatever. It is a
That's
here for you.
frightening.
There you go.
No, thank you. Yeah.
An archaic zoetrope machine that Vanicote used to treat schizophrenics.
What are we gonna call it? It's so absurd. So weird.
But yeah, like there's a lot of really cool shit, and then just that ending just doesn't feel in the same place. Remember that scene actually right at the very end?
Yeah, it's so many good scenes and there's some bad stuff. I actually wrote like Chris Kattan saves them all. Oh my god, the CGI is so bad.
This bit as well, even that visual there, I wasn't that
No. And then as it ends, I'm like, how are they getting out?
Yeah.
What, like, how are you leaving? Who's coming to save you?
It does. Just that darkness thing is what kills it for me. I'll be honest.
No, it's so bad. And the thing is, and I actually like all in the entire movie is I think phenomenal, great, well put together, scary, keeps you on edge. So many iconic scenes. Like the funny humor of Chris Kattan. The dude that's the main character with the blonde chick, perfect. Like everything is like kind of set up really well. And creepy and strange. And then the ending just, I feel like took it all away from me. Especially nowadays, I'm like, it just looks so bad. And the thing about this, end the movie, right? And then do like a end credit scene. And oh yeah, that doctor is like so scary. Do an end credit scene and then cut to like,
I mean, as well, him with the ball.
I hated it. That was probably, other than the pencil neck scene. And that is something I told you when you wanted to discuss this film. I told you, I was like, that scene where he's in the deprivation chamber thing, like that shit is so scary. And they lock him in it and then they turn it on and then it becomes real.
Yeah, because so they lock him in it first, right? And nothing's happening. They lock him in it because they think he's crazy or whatever. And then what happens is, don't the rest of the group walk away? And that Blackburn guy, the guy who's fucking his wife,
the douche,
that dude there, he's like, oh, I'll guard him while you all go off and like figure
and he's like,
on.
What?
Yeah.
I can't hear you.
And then he's like, he pulls the fucking thing.
Yeah, and then he's like, what? And he's like messing with him, like, what? Because you don't know what that could do. You don't know how that works or what that could do to your mind. And it's just like everything is good up until that point.
Yeah.
And then like I was gonna say,
yeah, turns the dude around on the stool. He just has
for some reason he's missing a face. For some reason. I just want to say, like, you know what? And then you end the credits, right? And then it's just those two people's skeletons on the top. Really, because nobody knows who's there. Nobody knows what's going on. No fam, like, unless you tell your family, sure, you're going there. But I feel like the time they would even find them up on the side of this massive building that they just exited through this, like, whatever window into the top of this literally massive building. You would be left there. They would starve to
Yeah,
death.
yeah. But
That's why I hate when movies end like that, because it's like,
you know, I
They
often
died.
wonder, like, should they have just ended it on a kind of more ambiguous, like we don't really know what went on, and maybe post-credit scene you cut to Chris Kattan and he's bringing another new crowd up to the house.
dude, that would have been great, dude. Or like have it where, you know how it originally burns down? Have it
Mhm.
burn down again as they're escaping out of the somewhere. Like, I know it's like a maze, so they come out on a side of a building at the back. The idea that they're like you know, whatever, 100, like they're up top of the
Mhm.
building. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense.
I just, yeah, like you could have given me anything really, just exclude that darkness thing, that ghost thing. I just
Yeah.
wasn't digging it, man, because like you said, I just think the CGI at the time wasn't up to par. So it just really doesn't hold up at all. Like
So many good scenes in this film, though.
there is, isn't there? Up until that point, there is so many good set pieces. It's actually incredible. Remember, he keeps popping up randomly.
Yeah, that's so good. And then he's like, when he does jump in the pool of like blood or whatever, and then she goes to save him.
And
All of it,
you know
like,
what else
I
I
love
love
this
as
whole
well?
movie, man.
You know what else I love? And it's something I'm only thinking about now. That thing that the characters are all doing where nobody trusts each other and we don't know who's telling the truth about who they
Yes.
actually are. Because obviously
Yeah.
they've all said, like, you know, the chick says like, oh, I'm a whatever reporter, and somebody else says like I'm a movie star or something. But then we start to find out that all these people are full of shit and they're not who they say they are,
Yeah, yeah.
which I thought was quite interesting as well. Like the
That's a
characters.
good to mess with your mind, right? And that's why I felt they did a good job at, like, the entire movie's great until the end. And that's why I'm like, it's such a disappointing thing where I'm like, I just thought about it. I was like, why did my memory block that out? Because I didn't remember
Yeah,
that aspect of the film. And I was like, because even back then I probably recognized that it was stupid. Like, there's all these memorable moments within the
yeah,
movie, but then the ending is the worst.
yeah. Like
But
I think compared to the rest of the movie,
yeah,
it's so forgettable
yeah.
that
What would
like.
you rate it? So out of
Ooh.
out of 10 pencils to the neck, what do you go with?
Um,
How many pencils are you driving through that doctor's neck, or that nurse's? Well, I guess it's probably a nurse. That nurse's neck. How many sharpened? You remember the pen? You remember you used to use pencils? Do you ever remember that? Remember for pens? You know, it's like, I'm just kidding. We just,
would
like,
have been,
you go up to class and you're like,
would have been in school and not being allowed to use pens. They were like the older kids.
you know what I mean? Yeah, you just go up and you're like, I gotta sharpen my pencil, teacher. So, like, how many pencils? I haven't used a pencil in a long time, I'm sure.
Um, I know it's difficult because how many points does that bad ending take away?
I feel like a fair amount, though.
That's the
I
problem. You see.
Okay, I'll be honest. Because I enjoyed it so much when I was a kid, the ending is terrible. But either way, the film is still enjoyable. I will still watch it again. I'll give it a clean 7. 7 pencils
Yeah, I would say
drived in
probably.
the side of your neck.
I want to say like 8, 8.5,
Yeah,
but
but I can't do that, man.
it's the fact if the ending had been just any way different at all, it probably would have upgraded to like an 8 maybe.
Yeah, 100%.
But like that ending is really the only thing kicking it in the ass.
It's just like this, and it like travels through the house, and it's just like, it looks so bad. Why was everyone, after like George Lucas made Star Wars, everyone's like, we can use CGI, and it looks so bad. I don't
Yeah.
know if that was before or after, whatever, fucking, like, because I feel like when CGI first came out, they're like, we could put it in everything, and it looks so bad.
See, I hate that, and it becomes like that weird uncanny valley thing where like I don't want CGI, I just want practical all the time. I don't
Yes,
care.
and that's my at first, when CGI first emerged, it was.
And like even like I mentioned it earlier, I went to see the new Jurassic World, and like don't get me wrong, the CGI is incredible, but at the end of the day, I still know. Like
The
I still look at
about
Jurassic Park from
practical.
1993,
Yes.
and I regard that in higher value than like these new like all CG Jurassic Park movies, because I'm like
I
I can
agree.
clearly tell though there's no like I can tell that the actors are not interacting with the environment. They're
Yes.
standing in front of a green screen going, "Wow, look at all this stuff around me."
Oh. Wow. I agree. I agree.
It, you know, and I think audiences can pick up on that as much as you might try and tell yourself they don't. I think for the cinema goer, like that experience can be quite weird. That's why I don't really like movies like Avatar and stuff, because I'm like, it's just so outside of the realm of like every single thing. Like even the grass on the ground has to be CG, and I'm like, I can tell though.
Yeah, I agree. If we're gonna do it that way. But I guess yeah, I agree.
You know, it just irritates me. Like, but yeah, like I mean, look, I do think a lot of these movies that came out were dismissed as like junk or whatever. This was
And then they
definitely one of
grew
them. Yeah, that was
based
put in
on
like
VHS.
the junk pile. A lot of people, you know, said it was loud, messy, worse than the original. But I think if you look at it that way, you're kind of missing the key point of some of these movies. They don't try. A lot of times, they're not out to outperform the original or outdo it or anything like that. It's to give a different take. And I love when I see these movies now. They get cult followings. It's nice to see that, like that they gain their audience over time, which I think is a one of the few pluses of like the advent of the internet,
Yeah,
that
yeah,
movies
for
can
sure.
have a second life and kind of live on, which is cool. But for everybody listening, what do you guys think? Do you think House on Haunted Hill like done something different or just rehashed, you know, the
Well,
same game?
that's what I'm all about. Is like the people that experience and watch watch or listen to the show is like, what do you think? Because like I'm on the fence about a lot of movies, a lot of things where I'm like, I try to be objective. Where I'm like, my experience was like I really enjoyed all of the film, but obviously the ending wasn't impressive because I didn't remember it, and when I rewatched this, I was disappointed by it. So it's like, what do you think? Was it less like a I think it was unique in its own regard of what the movie is. There was no other movie at the time that was doing what they did. The acting at least was on point. When I found a lot of times there could be movies with good practical effects or a story, but they use actors that you can tell clearly don't have the chops to play that character or to portray the film in the way that the writer or the director wants it to be conveyed. So, like with this one, like you had Chris Kattan, even the main character, everyone hates like that black dude, but back then, like, yes, if you're a minority of a country, and you're the black character, you're the black guy in the movie, right? So he did a great job. That guy was in a
This
bunch of
movie, his
stuff.
name is Taye Diggs.
Yeah, Tay Diggs is dope. Is that who that? Yeah, there's Tay Diggs.
Yeah.
Right? That guy's dope, right? So like you have these, he played it like on point, like by
Mhm.
far, right? Without his character, it's not the same. The like everyone kind of played like the fact that you Jeff Rush in it, like all these
You know
characters
what was cool as well,
and the
actually? They didn't
wife's
just
name, I
kill
can't remember her name. Everyone played like a
uh,
great character.
Famke Janssen or whatever her name is.
The blonde chick.
Oh no, the blonde chick.
All of them did a good job.
The blonde chick is Ali Larder.
Yeah, yeah.
She was in a lot of stuff.
Everyone was quite famous. And that's what you needed. Back nowadays, I feel like sometimes they're like just these pump movies out and nobody knows who the people are. Like a lot, even some of the Scream movies, which I did enjoy. Right? It's like you have some of these people and new actors, which I think people should still give a chance. I'm not saying that you shouldn't, but like back then, it was like, oh, I saw that guy in this movie, and because people didn't have streaming services, right? I saw him in this or that. You're like, oh, that's cool. Chris Kattan is in this. Some people would, so I'm sure some people just watch this movie because Chris Kattan was in
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
You know, especially back
That's gone
then.
now, though. You don't get that anymore.
No, not at all.
It doesn't
Everyone's just
happen.
kind of it's. But I still enjoy. I was excited when you said you wanted to talk about this. That's why I had 2 drinks of 6%, and I think it got
Yeah,
me a little
I
amped
do.
up. I
I
enjoyed
love
it.
this movie. For for everybody listening, like I would be interested to see, do other people hold a similar
Mhm.
you know, does something like this hold a similar place in your heart? Um but yeah, let us know in the comments down below. If you enjoyed this, I guess a deep dive in a way, into, you know, a little bit behind House on Haunted Hill from 1999.
Yeah.
Be sure to like, subscribe, hit the notification bell on YouTube so you don't miss our next video, which we're going to do a Dark Castle series to a degree. You may see other episodes in between these episodes, but we're going to do like some of the more notable Dark Castle movies. So you're going to have this one's the first one, obviously, House on Haunted Hill. Then you've got 13 Ghosts. We're going to do what else do we say? Gothica.
And there's something else to get.
There was bear with me for a second, everybody.
Gothica, there's one or two.
So we've House on Haunted Hill, then 13 Ghosts, Ghost Ship, Gothica, House of Wax. There is some other ones they done. I don't know if we're going to cover all of them or not, because some of them are not so great. Like we have The Reaping, wasn't very good. Return to House on Haunted Hill wasn't very good.
Never seen that.
Orphan is good. That's probably one that we should cover. That's about the chick that they think
I heard about it. I've never seen it.
She's an adult and it's based on a real life thing. That might be bad. And there's another one I did want to cover, or maybe do a watch along for, which is a direct-to-video movie that they made called The Hills Run Red. It's a slasher film, which I think that you would definitely dig. It's so the film focuses on a group of friends who are attempting to find a lost horror film titled The Hills Run Red, but they find themselves being stalked by the film's actual serial killer Babyface and discover a horrifying secret about the film they're seeking out.
I might enjoy it. Well, that would be good. I'm not gonna lie. I just watched Ghost Ship like last year. I'm gonna watch a synopsis on fucking YouTube because I was like, oh, the beginning scene is sweet, but all of the rest is terrible.
I can't show.
I know. Yeah, it's the coolest cover in the world.
I know, right?
Yeah, it's
that's your classic movie. It's like really cool cover, really cool synopsis on the back, and like one cool scene, and that's all you need to sell your movie.
Maybe that's our podcast. You know, it's pissing in the wind.
Yeah, I appreciate everyone. If you got this far, we appreciate it. For listening. Make sure to drop a like or leave a comment, share, follow, all those good things, and we'll see you in the next.
Support the show. Thank you very much for listening. You know, we do appreciate it if you are a fan, and it means a lot. It warms my heart.
Peace.